In today's episode, we're talking about a jealous boyfriend who killed his girlfriend because she stayed out overnight. And then you will not believe what he did with her body. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, lambs. Welcome, new listeners. My name is Kai, and this is Love and Murder, Heartbreak to Homicide, the Wednesday edition. Before we begin, as I do with every episode, I want to say thank you to my lambs in Patreon, patreon.com/Love and Murder. Without your support, Love and Murder would not be able to continue. And if you want to be a supporter of Love and Murder and get extra episodes, head on over to the Patreon, patreon.com/Love and Murder, and become an exclusive lamb. Let's get into this midweek mini episode. Angel Felix Rodriguez, who was 23 years old, and his 21-year-old girlfriend, Indira Ramirez Rivera, were in a constant on and off relationship. This case takes place in New York. Quote, "They seemed lovable, but then they argued and it was heated." This is what their neighbor, Smiley Rodriguez, said. On Wednesday, April 17th, 2019, Angel arrived at the 46th precinct in the Bronx around 6 p.m. and told police that he had a fight with his girlfriend, which, okay, well, thank you for being responsible and coming down here to let us know before it escalated. And he was like, oh, no. I wasn't done with my sentence. So what I was saying was, I had a fight with my girlfriend and she's dead in our apartment right now. So police were like, okay, can we go to your apartment and search? And he said, yeah, sure, whatever you need to do. So they headed down to his apartment at Nelson Avenue and Shakespeare Avenue in Morris Heights in the Bronx. And when police got there, they found Indira's body on the bathroom floor. A neighbor was heard to have said, quote, "I heard one EMT say it looked like the devil was in there," end quote. This is what the neighbor said. As police looked over the body, they saw that Indira had strangle marks to her neck and vaginal cuts and blunt force trauma to her body. They also noted that the body was in a state of decomp, which means that body this didn't just happen. So based on the level of decomp and based on various other factors they found in the apartment, it looked like Indira's body had been left in their bed for 2 days. And then I don't know if he picked her up and moved her to the bathroom after that to try and act like this just happened. But sir, a body that was dead 5 minutes ago and even a body that was dead for 2 hours, you can totally tell the difference. Quote, "He left her on the bed that they shared to die." So basically what happened was Indira had gone to the Dominican Republic because she had gone over there to get plastic surgery, and she had literally just come back home from that. Neighbors told police that Angel was a, quote, very jealous person and didn't like the way Indira was dressed when she went out, and he was always yelling, hitting, punching walls, stuff like that. So when she went to the Dominican Republic and she came back, she was about to leave him. She was trying to go and get her stuff and leave him. Our friend, Andy Rodriguez, was quoted as saying, quote, "She wanted to go back to her apartment and pack her stuff and leave him. I didn't expect him to do anything like this." So in addition to the plastic surgery, he didn't like how she dressed. And number 3, she was coming back to leave him. So in his head, everything was adding up to an absolutely not. And I guess he had the whole, if I can't have you, no one can moment. Then he just left her body there to decay on their bed. And then 2 days later went to turn himself in. Oh, my bad. I skipped a step. Took her decaying body from their bed, put it in the bathroom, and then went to the police. So Angel was charged with murder and manslaughter, but he wasn't charged with any sexual offenses. In January 2020, the case went to trial, and he pled guilty to first-degree manslaughter. The Bronx District Attorney Darcel D. Clark said, quote, "The defendant murdered his girlfriend with whom he had been in a relationship with for approximately 7 years during an argument. He stayed in the apartment with her body for 48 hours, then went to police and confessed to the killing. We must address the significant domestic violence problem in the Bronx to prevent such homicides," end quote. I mean, I think it's like domestic violence problems, period, to prevent homicides, not just in the Bronx, just period. But I understand he's just talking about his area. So Angel was sentenced to 17 years in prison. But my thing is just 17 years? You murdered this woman and then just stayed with her body for 2 days and let her body rot. But you know what? This goes back to an episode that I previously had where we had a question of, do you think people should receive lighter sentences if they confess to the murder? And to that question, some people said yes. Most people said no. You can go back and listen to that episode. That was a Florida Man Friday where a guy did something similar to Angel. He basically murdered his girlfriend and then he put her body in his car and drove to the police station. That was the case of Alejandra Roque. So go back and listen to that one. I think that was 2 Fridays ago. So go back and listen to that one. The case of Alejandra Roque. You could just look that up. Roque. And it was just as crazy as this one. I don't know what these people's thoughts process is. Like, I'm going to go ahead and do this and then just turn myself in. I think Alejandra got more of a jail sentence. I can't remember. But this guy only getting 17 years for what he did, that's crazy. And I don't know, maybe with the vaginal cuts, maybe they thought maybe she had just come home and they had intercourse and then they had an argument. Maybe that's why they didn't charge him with sexual assault. But here's a tip, lambs and new lambs. If you are jealous, if you have anger issues, if your person that you're in a relationship with, does something that you don't like, I don't know, going to get plastic surgery and coming home and about to leave you, the thing that you need to do is just leave them alone. It's their life. Even if you feel like if I can't have you, no one can. I mean, it's not your call. If you want somebody to stay with you, then be good. That's literally it. Just be good. And even that might not keep somebody staying with you. Take care of yourself. Focus on yourself. If you have anger issues, you can find outlets like going to sign up to a gym, sparring, running, driving, anything that gets the violent tendencies out of you. If you actually have to fight, they have boxing. You can go sign up for boxing where you can punch the crap out of a bag. You can do martial arts where you could kick the crap out of a bag. If you're jealous, you need to find a reason why you have such jealous tendencies and fix that. So it goes back to working on you. But murdering somebody, I don't know how you think that's the answer. Because now the person's gone. Yeah, nobody can have the person. But at the same time, guess who's having you? It's either Big Bubba or Big Lucy in prison. So you need to choose your battles, people. And for the poll question, I'm going to ask you, do you think he should have just received a 17-year sentence or should it have been more? The answers are going to be that's enough or more or less, whatever you think. So answer that poll question. You can leave it in the comments below, or you can actually answer it on one of the platforms that the poll questions do come out in. So I'm looking forward to your comments. So in your last week, midweek's mini, it was the cyber Munchausen. So you can go back and listen to that one as well. 2 teenagers, a girl and a boy, were cyberbullied horribly for like a year or 2. And when FBI came in, because at first the local police couldn't find out who, the school couldn't find out who, but when FBI came in, they found out who it was. And you will absolutely not believe who was cyberbullying these 2 teens. So the comments that I had on this case was Christina Bobo said, with mothers like this, who needs enemies? My mouth seriously dropped when you said it was the mom behind such foolishness. Well, I guess she just told you who it was, but still go back and listen to the episode. She continues, and she tried to hide her VPN. That was a little smart because I wouldn't even thought of it, but the government is always 20 steps ahead of us. She probably didn't think it would make it that far, to be honest. 300 plus messages and 1 year of harassment. She should be ashamed and should definitely lose custody. What type of person does something like this to their child? Makes me wonder what other type of psychological abuse was inflicted upon this child. I agree. I mean, I think it was, like they said, the Munchausen. But like you said, what else before she did this? What else has she done to get that immediate hit that she needed? Henna Page responded with, it reminded me of that lady years ago in 2008 or 2009 who catfished or cyberbullied her daughter's former friend so bad that she hanged herself. They made a cyberbullying law after her. It was pretty much the first documented case of cyberbullying. I guess her friend and her had a falling out, so the mom pretended to be a boy from another school, then started a smear campaign against her, broke up with her, then completely turned everyone in her school against her, sending people screenshots of things she said about them behind their back. Like things she said that she thought she was telling the boy she trusted. That's a crazy case. And then she actually posted the link to the law that was made after this case. So if you want to find all of that, you can go to the After the Pod Facebook group. All of those links are in the show notes below. That is crazy. Go back and listen to that episode. Actually, you know what? These 2 episodes that I was telling y'all about, I'm going to put them in the links below also so you can get to it easier. So that was the one of the Florida Man Friday, and then this one, Cyber Munchausen. I'm going to put both of them in the show notes below so that you can be able to easily go back and listen to these episodes. And that is all that I have for you. Thank you for your comments, Christina Bobo and Henna Page. One way that you can definitely help love and murder, and it's free and it's easy. It takes 3 seconds of your time, is to share this episode. Go ahead and hit that share icon and share with everybody you know and share with everybody that you don't. Share, 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 share. And I will see you in the next episode. Bye.